We gather here to give thanks for the life of our guide and leader. It's tight because Reverend Jesse Jackson had a lot of love, and there are people here showing their love for him, but he taught us to be respectful. So I'm going to ask that on the left-hand side of the stage that we find some peace and that we sit. And it's hot for everybody up here. And on the right-hand side as well. Shh. We are at a celebration of life. And we're going to make it a good program for you, but we need some discipline. As we give thanks to the life of our leader and our guide and my father, Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson. My father covered a lot of territory in his 84 years, together with his wife and political advisor and partner, my mother, and I'd like you to recognize Miss Jacqueline Jackson. Show her some love. They were married 64 years. 64 years. All of my life, I was taught that my parents' anniversary, we just had one on December 31st, 2025. That was year 64. I got a call from my sister, I think it was December 27th, and she said, Yusuf, call and wish mom and dad a happy anniversary. And I said, Sandy, you're 3 or 4 days early. And she said, no, I think I'm on time. And so I called my mom and said, Mom, Santita, who's really good at math, is early on your anniversary. She said, Yusuf, I think all these years I got a little bit confused. I think we got married on the 27th. So for 55 years, I thought it was the 31st, and it was actually the 27th. He built meaningful relationships that literally span the globe. My mother talks about how he has such remarkable range as a person. He would kneel and touch the poorest children, and then he stood to challenge the most powerful presidents and dictators. And from the library that he opened and set free in Greenville, South Carolina, to the boardrooms of Wall Street, where he encouraged inclusion, to the Oval Office in the White House, he opened doors. He kicked them down when necessary so that others were no longer locked out. And so we pause today, as we have over the last few weeks since he passed, to reflect on his time well spent. Yesterday, friends and allies shared personal stories and talked about their relationships with Reverend Jackson, about his tremendous body of work. We learned so much about his humanity, his humility, and the lasting lessons that he taught us. He often said that we should measure someone not simply by where they started from, but where they ended up, but where they started from. And as you all know, the Reverend Jackson started deep in the valley before he made his way to an extraordinary life that blessed the world. He taught us that every child deserves a strong foundation, a loving mother and family, a welcoming church, a close-knit neighborhood with resources and opportunity. He lived that belief. He ministered to children in schools. He visited the sick in hospitals. He comforted the incarcerated, locked in jails. He always made time to speak with students at every grade level. We also learned about a loving grandfather who never failed to pray with his grandchildren and to express his love for them and his belief in them. It was hard to visit my father, even in his illness, and not leave feeling better about yourself. And he always left you with a mission. And we cannot leave here honoring the past service of Jesse Jackson without a clear mission, without a clear commitment to work to build a better and more secure future together. His mission was to move from racial battlegrounds to economic common ground, and ultimately to moral higher ground. We've come a long way, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Today we face not only the harsh headwinds but a powerful current aimed at taking us backwards as a society, from economic common ground to a society where the haves prey upon the have-nots, from racial diversity to racial division, from inclusion to exclusion, from opening doors to slamming them shut. And so we're called once more to act. We will challenge violence with nonviolent engagement. We will challenge this ruler-based dictator order with a people-based higher order. We will take the high road. The storm has not yet passed, but the rainbow is already shining. And as I grieve both privately and publicly, and wrestle with the first part of the psalm, weeping may endure for a night, I'm comforted by the morning joy that my Father left us, a great name, a great body of work, and the spirit to continue. He left us a rainbow coalition that we must renew, recommit to, and grow into the future. Reverend Jackson's legacy is available to all of us, not just to the Jackson family, but to all who study it, to all who follow it, to all who use it as a guide and have the spirit to carry it forward. The torch doesn't pass by any royal blood, but by heavenly spirit. It is accessible to everyone. And that's why the Rainbow Push Coalition traveled to Minneapolis last month to build coalition with faith leaders and immigrant communities under pressure in that city. And that is why we, along with new coalition partners, are in Selma, Alabama right now, today, not only to commemorate the historic march across that bridge, but to renew and expand our commitment to that march, to expand access to humanity and citizenship, strengthen our democracy, and protect the right to vote. It is appropriate that we respect this season of grieving. Grieve for the leader, grieve for the brother and our father who has ascended to heaven. However, it is also appropriate that we honor him by stepping up and stepping out, continuing his work, by answering his call to serve. Yesterday, I committed in his name that the Rainbow Push Coalition will continue. We have recommitted ourselves to its founding principles, reached out and engaged new leaders across the country, and revived its work, and will carry the mission forward by building coalitions that will be at the forefront of fighting to preserve voting rights, ending racial, gender, and economic inequalities, promoting peace and equality and human rights at home and abroad, opposing war and giving peace a chance, protecting the rights of new immigrants who live and work in our communities, and giving voice to the voiceless and hope to those who are in despair. Today we lay the good Reverend, my father, to rest. And tomorrow we carry the mission forward. Keep hope alive.